Hey guys, it's day 2 now. Big idea number 6 about simple machines. Our question this week is, how do elevators work? Yesterday, we talked about a pulley and how a pulley helps to make a load easier to move, typically up and down. So there's different kinds of pulleys. And this first type of pulley we're going to talk about is a fixed pulley. Fixed means that it can't move. It's fixed in one position. You're not going to be able to move it unless you physically take out the screws that are holding it in place. Okay? So the pulley that elevators use is called a fixed pulley. A fixed pulley doesn't change the amount of force you need to do work, but it does change the direction of that force. So over here in our vocabulary, because we had the darkened word up here, a pulley that is attached to something and does not move. So fixed, does not move. A pulley, here we go, rotates or turns the force. So when you pull down, the pulley changes the direction of the force to lift the load up. When fixed pulleys help us to do work because people find it easier to pull down than it is to lift up. Pulleys can also help us lift or lower things that might be too high or too low for people to reach by themselves. So on A, you had to take the arrows that were over here and figure out how to show the direction of force on this fixed pulley. So the down arrow would be the side that you would be pulling on. And as you're pulling, this side, the force is going down, but it changes the force on the other side because it's moving up. So as you pull, that rope is going up and over the pulley mechanism. On B, click and drag true, it should be say or false, my bad, onto the line. On number 1, fixed pulleys are pulleys that stay in place. That is true. That's why they are fixed. They can't be moved. A fixed pulley reduces the amount of force you need to do work. That is false. If you look up here, it doesn't change the amount of force you need to do work, but it changes the direction of that force. So you're still going to have to use the same amount of force. It's just changing the direction in which you do it. You're pulling down to lift something instead of lifting it up. On number 3, a fixed pulley is best used for lifting or lowering things too heavy to lift by yourself. That is false. That is false. If you look up here, it only does height. It doesn't say anything about weight. It might be too high or too low for people to reach. So that's why you would use a fixed pulley. On C, if a fixed pulley doesn't change the amount of force you use to do work, how might a pulley be good to do the following? Number 1 says raise a flag. So if you notice on the flagpole here at school and other places where you have flagpoles where you lower and raise flags, you're going to see a pulleys there. So using a pulley to raise a flag makes it easier to lift the flag high. On the next one, because that's a flagpole takes it to a height that we cannot reach normally, just standing on our 2 legs, and even using a ladder sometimes is not even going to be tall enough. I know the one here at school is definitely not going to work with just a regular ladder. On number 2, lower a bucket into a well. If you're not sure what a well is, that is a place that underneath the ground where you're at, there are pockets of water, groundwater, that seep through. And so before we had water in our faucets where we just turn on and off, they would dig these wells and find the water table, and then they would create a place for that water, and you would lower a bucket using a pulley down into the well and dip out. So using a pulley to lower a bucket into a well makes it easier to lower the bucket to a place people can safely go. That's talking more about a bucket that would have people in it. But using a pulley to get out of a water well, it would make it easier. You would send the bucket down to a place you can't go to safely, and then you would fill the bucket up with water on its own. It would kind of tip over and fill up, and then you would use the pulley to pull it back up. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have an awesome Tuesday.